In today's video, we're going to talk about everything that we know about Godzilla X Kong, the new empire. So, yo, what is freaking good YouTube voice you have? If you are new around here, make sure to subscribe to never miss any of the Marvel, DC, Kaiju, MonsterVerse, pop culture based content that we try to do on a daily basis. If you could subscribe to the channel, turn notifications on, and let me know how freaking hyped are you for more MonsterVerse based content. Not only are we getting Monarch, Legacy of the Monsters next month, we're getting Godzilla -1 in December. No UK release date yet. I know it's not MonsterVerse, but it's still Kaiju. And then early next year, we're getting the pinnacle of them all, Godzilla X Kong, the new empire. So you could check us out on Instagram at Warstu to see that beautiful face behind the beautiful voice. And also, if you could, check us out on Twitter, WarstuG or X.com, same website. Yo, let's get into it. So, yet again, there's been another test screening, which is only positive, although there are some negative feedback from the screening, kind of. I guess it depends how you look at it. So this backs up what your boy Warstu, aka War Drizzy, aka the iconic legendary voice behind the Warstu character, I guess you could say, is the trailer's coming in December, like I've been saying for the longest time ever. It really is coming in December, so that's cool. So the movie is very bombastic, very slapstick, very funny, but not over the top funny. So what people need to realize is, don't listen to what I say on Twitter. I kind of joke around on Twitter, obviously. So yeah, don't take what I say. So on the tweet, I tweeted this. Hearing Godzilla X Kong is going to be like Thor Love and Thunder levels of forced, unfunny comedy, and the human stuff weakens the movie overall. I'm sorry, but I'm a bit of a troll on Twitter, so I was kidding around. Obviously, every test screening for this movie has essentially said the same thing, but not quite that extreme. I was joking. So as we know from the first test screening, the movie has a very bombastic feel, almost like Godzilla vs Kong, but a little bit more. So the movie is allegedly funny, and reportedly there's this one scene where Godzilla and Kong start laughing, and then the test screening audience started laughing because they didn't know what the frick. I'm joking, that doesn't really happen. So the human cast is better than it was in Godzilla vs Kong. A lot of these reports are consistent with the other reports we've had, and apparently the human side is much better than in other MonsterVerse movies. Although I don't really care for the human side, some of the fans of the MonsterVerse like the human side of stuff. I really hate it. So this comment is pretty standard if you look into information from their screening. The audiences have been crushing on Dan Steven. Godzilla doesn't have much screen time. Yeah, that might annoy people, but the problem with the Kaiju MonsterVerse movies are they are very expensive to make, so the monsters don't get as much screen time as they could, because if they got more, although the team at Legendary are very good at VFX, the monsters are never going to have enough screen time, realistically. The story apparently is centered around Kong. Kind of misleading, because Godzilla does have a massive storyline in this movie at the same time, but as we know from Godzilla vs Kong, Kong just wants to meet his own species, and this is why it's going to be freaking heartbreaking when he gets to meet the Red Ape, aka Scar King, and he tries to kill him. It's going to be heartbreaking. But then again, Kong is going to have a little son, hence the trade reporting this movie originally was called Son of Kong. No, it's not. Suku is going to appear in this movie. There hasn't been a negative test screening. Okay, this is kind of a lie, because I've spoke to some people that kind of didn't like the jokes and stuff in the movie. So to say there's no negatives is kind of redundant, because the whole point of a test screening is to have an unbiased opinion of the movie, and no one can keep saying, yo, this movie is perfect, there's nothing wrong with it, because even if certain movies do get test screened, there's always negative feedback. So yeah, that's not true. Each screening is more positive than the last. I mean, you got to take this with a pinch. So audience were not fans of one monster. Interesting. Now, this is the really interesting part, and this coincides with potentially the post-credit scene, maybe, but I don't know the context of this because no one's reached out to me about this certain point. Monster was replaced with one that will make fans very happy. Oh my god, Destroy All Monsters is coming. Oh my god. That's interesting. Let me know who you think that is. Is it gonna be the Space Godzilla? Is it gonna be Mecha Kong? Is it gonna be Mecha Godzilla? Again, that would be interesting. So that's information coming from one source. And generally when a lot of people are saying the same thing, it generally is the case. And another person said, Godzilla X Kong had another test screening. And y'all won't believe how funny this movie is going to be. Yeah, because Godzilla and Kong start laughing at each other because it's like, yo, I owned you. And he's like, no, I helped you against Godzilla. They have a kind of conversation in their own language. No, they don't. I'm taking. But you get my point. There's consistent point, and this person goes on to say that he doesn't really connect with the MonsterVerse stuff. But what I like about the MonsterVerse stuff is when the rumors and leaks come out, it's not from these Marvel, DC fake scoopies who make up. Generally, when MonsterVerse leaks come out to do with anything to do with the MonsterVerse, whether it be Godzilla -1 or whether it be Godzilla vs Kong, remember your boy Warstu, aka the iconic one. I told you exactly what was going to go down, word for word, scene for scene. Okay, maybe not scene. Okay, pretty much scene for scene for Godzilla vs Kong. 9 months before the movie came out. And yes, I do read some of the comments when people go, yo, Warstu's always wrong. I mean, sure, sometimes I get stuff wrong, but my information about Godzilla vs Kong, the movie that came out back in 2021, my information was on point. So there's some more. What I like to do in these videos is when I say everything we know, I go over a lot of stuff. So there's a lot of descriptive, I guess you could say, quotes from a leak that has recently come out. I couldn't source the origin of it, but someone emailed me it, and it does line up with other things. So there is a monster in the shape of a 4-legged bird that is relatively small, about 10 meters in size. If someone looks at it upside down, a spiral of light will be emitted. I'll be honest, I've got no idea who that could be about, but there's also some other interesting things. So a bit of a description about Shimu or Shimo. Shimo is a white 4-legged lizard-like monster with blue dorsal fins that can emit ice lightning. Now, I've got it on good record that the toy leaks that a lot of people were saying are fake are pretty much 100% real. It's fascinating. Basically, what I'm saying is, allegedly, although you know what I mean when I say allegedly, the original leaks we went over were 100% true, which is interesting. So, the big ape, who is called Scar King, is apparently like Kratos from God of War if you played the PlayStation game. Interesting. The big red ape is tall, slim, bold, looks like Kratos. He has Godzilla's bone hanging from his body in the form of a bullet chain. Now, what is interesting about this is we haven't really had a look at Scar King yet. We had the teaser trailer. That was concept art. That isn't how he's actually going to look in said movie. But to say that Scar King looks like Kratos, well, if that's the case, Godzilla, Kong, you bring them all, then none of them are taking down Kratos. Because if he looks like Kratos, Kratos is the god killer. So are you saying that this ape is a god killer? I mean, Godzilla is a god, so does this confirm that Godzilla die? I know he can't die because of the arrangement they have with Toho. They cannot kill Godzilla. I get it, but let's just forget about that for a minute. So, Godzilla has the original design that I find quite interesting. Peel off the outer skin and see the shape of the red dorsal fins that lines up with the toy, lines up with the other plot leaks. I'm not saying it's true or not true. I just like to go over information on the internet. And that is why I find it funny when people go, yo, Warstu, you don't know what you're talking about. I literally go over leaks, theories, rumor, news. I can't always affirm and vet the information being true or not, but what I can say is everything I spoke about in this video, it lines up with everything we already know. Also, King Kong, allegedly, although he's not actually technically King Kong yet, has a yellow weapon resembling a glove on his right hand. Temporarily, it's almost like his name, Armored King Kong. As we know, allegedly, Kong's going to get hurt in this, and he's going to have to get some cybernetic technology, which again lines up with the other leaks. Now, what I like about the MonsterVerse is, as you know, I cover Marvel with these. I cover a lot of different pop culture niches on this channel. Is the information that comes out and the leaks that come out on Reddit and I guess you say Twitter, they're not really ever fake. There's always some truth behind them. And again, there is a toy leak for this, so that could be true. So allegedly, Scar King also has a battle axe, but if he's dubbed the Kratos of the Kratos is amazing. If he's dubbed as Kratos as the MonsterVerse, he's going to have a battle axe. So there is some information also about Godzilla's appearance. So allegedly, he's slimmer with large scales covering the back and fingers. It's sharper and has spines on his elbow. The dorsal fin turns red and is larger than the provisional name in the form of evolved Godzilla. And I guess a lot of these names that are coming up in this certain information I'm going over lines up with toy leaks. Again, I'm not here to ruin anything, but if you click into a video and you get past the spoiler warning and you click into a Warstu video, You know exactly what you're getting, which is funny. So I do find it funny how I made a joke and I was being sarcastic on Twitter saying how Godzilla X Kong is going to be like Thor Love and Thunder because that was over the top with jokes. But someone said this on Twitter and it does make me laugh. If you remember, Godzilla took itself too seriously. I don't mean the tone, I mean the movie. Could be silly, but it didn't look down on you. It wasn't a farce like, haha, we're so goofy and self-aware like Fast and Furious. That just panders to the joke. So if Godzilla X Kong is like that, then cool. I mean, I don't think a MonsterVerse movie should be over top serious. I was just making a joke because apparently the jokes are kind of hit and miss, but I can't vet the jokes. I don't know what the jokes were personally, but it is interesting how it's basically like Godzilla versus Kong, but the jokes are a bit better, I guess, or a bit more intense. And the human side is a bit more impactful, but I just want to see the monsters fight each other. That's what I'm bothered about. So that is everything for this video. So this video is everything we know about Godzilla X Kong, the New Empire at the moment. But let me know, who the frickin' hell is this monster that has replaced someone else that is going to make fans so happy? Is it going to be Rodan? Probably not. Is it going to be Mothra? Probably not. Is it going to be Space Godzilla? Probably not. I don't know who it could be, but let me know, who is it going to be? And do you still believe the post-credit scene that we spoke about in a video about a month or two ago now? So like always, guys, check us out on Instagram at Warstu to see the beautiful face behind the voice. Check us out on Twitter or x.com, WarstuG. And I will catch you in another video very soon. Catch you later.